Romans, Romans chapter 5, verse 19. For as by one man disobedience many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. I like to give all prayers and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakah Kodash, the Wadi Habashim El Shah, for giving us the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who deserve the honors rightfully so. Shalom to the Akim, pushing the word in sincerity and truth and being faith-based and being prepared for what is to come. And what is to come? Race wars, famine, concentration camps, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. 200 million missiles hitting the soils of America. Simultaneously, the chariots of the Lord lifting up the chariot. Simultaneously, the chariots of the Lord lifting up the hopeful elect into the chambers. Simultaneously, the chariots of the Lord shooting laser beams at the ungodly and the heathens. Rightfully so. I brought this on. The Spirit leads me and guides me in this video. Just sit down and put together these words, because just a few thoughts I was just having, and actually right now the time is, as usual, going on 4 a.m. in the morning. The date, let's go a little deeper. The date is the 25th, Monday morning, May 25th, and I was like, I was sleeping as usual. Woke up and the word came to my mind, obedience. So I decided to look it up, and it led me to this verse here. And I was just trying to make up a name for this topic, but it clarified itself. By one, so by one. As by one, so by one. And as by one we disobeyed, so by one we gonna obey. And through the Spirit, it's the same, man. Because Adam, if you understand the Spirit, Adam was Yahweh Shah, and Yahweh Shah was Adam. He was the Alpha and Omega, and he was the beginning and the end. So it's like we had how you say we had the same Spirit. Our spirit bear witness. Our spirit is the same Spirit that's been in all the bodies that we lived on this earth. We came back and we went over the same routine over and over again. We disobeyed the Lord. He put hands on us. All right. So it's just about obedience. And I'm just going with the Spirit, and Salaki if I ramble, but we've been a very disobedient people, man, and we still are very disobedient because we ain't got this down pat correctly. Like through the scriptures, we know that we got 100%, but through the flesh, we ain't got it. We're gonna fall off. We're gonna things gonna happen, and we're gonna be looking for forgiveness. That's why the Lord came back for sinners. He didn't come back for 100% righteous. Only one man was perfect on the earth at any cost was Yahweh Shah. So he's come back for his elect that have no guile, even though we tend to go off, because we're in the flesh. But these scriptures make us obedient. Make us not be disobedient, because we're learning how to be we learn not to be the wicked. We learn not to be like the wicked, because we're not the wicked. Right? We learn not to be like the wicked. And that's the class we in. That's the ultimate class of all of the hopeful elect, 144,000 men, which is gonna govern the galaxies. Okay? So this is what we were being prepared for, to govern everything, for being obedient. And I got a verse right here. I mean, I read that one, right? But this verse stuck out to me. And let's see if I can find it again. Because it was just like, wow, it was right there, right? And he said this about I was going through verses. And I was like, I was going through verses about obedience, right? And I found that verse, right? Right, the verse, the Romans chapter, oh jeez, let me see if I can find it. Romans chapter 5, verse 19, right? But then I looked at this verse and I was like, wow, see? And it was to the Lord, he was seeking obedience. And then the name Caleb means, it's, when you look it up, it says dog, right? Obedient dog. All right. So I was looking at this verse, right? Let me see. Oh, all right. I did it this way. All right, I went to Caleb. Oh, jeez. All right, hold on. Let's go back. Because I put it in the other phone. So let's see if I can spell it right. All right, so let me say it. Caleb. All right. Because Caleb was obedient. All right. He was he all the way to the end, he did exactly what Yahweh Shemel Shah wanted. And so did Joshua. All right. But that's what we leading up to being. We need to be obedient servants. All right. To do exactly what Yahweh Shemel Shah wants us to do. And it's a learning process. All right. Because we in this filthy flesh, man. And back then, the body was more it was more things shown that you couldn't deny. But now, see, knowledge increased. Technology is out here. We got cell phones. Back then they didn't have cell phones. So imagine if we see a chariot. I do believe that the name of Yahweh Shemel Shah written on all those chariots. All right, in the Lashawan Kodash. And I truly believe that. I mean, I don't care about we have a dispute. Yeah, we don't know if we pronouncing the words right. Through the Spirit of Yahweh Shah, this language is dynamic. I don't mean we bouncing all over the place, but I do believe that we pronouncing it correctly. Because how it rolls off the tongue and how pure it sounds. So, and it says right here, it's what the hell? Slakia. All right, let's go. I want to read this verse right here. And it says, right, in Numbers chapter, because I'm just going through verses, man. Just through the Spirit, I'm just rolling, just having a conversation, a holy conversation with the brothers, And it said, Numbers chapter 12, right, chapter 14, verse 24. But my servant Caleb, because we're going to enter into the kingdom by obedience. See, our disobedience got us in this mess, but our obedience will get us out. It's going to get us out with righteousness. And that verse right there with Romans chapter 5, verse 19, that was like a spiritual verse because I was looking for a verse that's going to ice in the cake of what I wanted to speak about. Because I was looking for, and it had both disobedience and obedience right in that one verse. So we're looking to obey, right? Because this society want us to obey, them, right? So I was wondering, Apostle Tahar said it. I looked at it. Yeah, Apostle Tahar, he said, yeah, you obeying the white man, right? You staying in your house, you ain't coming out, you obeying them, right? So why you can't obey Yahweh Shemel Shah? He said, stay in the house, you stay in the house. He said, put a mask on, you put a mask on. So, see, Yahweh Shemel Shah and Joshua is Yahweh Shah. They fighting over the throne, and they fighting over the people. They fighting over control, pure control. One is wicked and one is righteous. And Yahweh Shemel Shah is righteous. It's 100%. It's a pure power out here. See, this RFID chip is not pure power, because if it was, you wouldn't have to put something inside you or to get pure power. You're supposed to automatically make it. Boom, pure power. And that's going to be according to the Spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah. That's going to be that pure power. All right. And I'm Salak. Let me read this verse real fast. Numbers chapter 14, verse 24. But my servant Caleb, because he had Salakia. Man, really? Freaking phone, man. Salaki. The phone is always acting. They've been acting up. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit. See, that spirit that was in Caleb was an obedient spirit, man. He did exactly. Joshua. They did exactly what Yahweh Shemel Shah wanted. They had obedient spirits. With him, and have followed me fully. Because when I went into this verse, I was going to the verse. I was like, man, because I looked at obedient, and this verse popped. I said the word fully. You can't. It's no half. Fully. All right, let me read that part. Let me read this verse again. Let me go right to the top. Numbers chapter 14, verse 24. But my servant Caleb. When we look at the word Caleb, it means the word dog pops up, right? And it's obedient. A dog is very obedient. If you train him right, you treat him right, and he see that you love him, and because love is commandments, following the laws, statutes, commandments, right? And so and that's what you gotta learn how to do. That's our whole goal. That's the goal of this path to righteousness is being obedient, man. And that's, when you think about it, that's this whole world's problem. All right, that's why we gotta govern this place in righteousness. That's why we're gonna have to really put the beats down on these nations, because the Lord he beat us. He beat us into nothing. All right, damn near nothing, but we still exist. Damn near nothing, man. Like, you look back and you say, whoa, man. But he saved that remnant is there, right? Salak. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him and has followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereunto he went, and his seed shall possess it. See? So the spirit of Caleb is being risen too. The spirit of Caleb of obedience, being an obedient dog, and learning the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shah to do his will is manifesting. See, that's what this society don't want. They don't want to obey. They'll obey Ashashua. They'll do everything that Esau want done, right? But then when it comes down to Yahweh Shemel Shah, they have a serious issue. Because you know why? They could see Esau. They could see what he could do, right? Right? But they haven't felt the power of Yahweh Shemel Shah reveal itself. And when he does, man, he's gonna fuck up Ashashua. And he's gonna fuck up those that worship Ashashua. So you don't have a chance. Because this power is real. Because that's what they saw. They saw pure power back then. See, in the spirit of Joshua, Joshua and Caleb and all of them, Moses, when they saw chariots. They saw the other nations getting zapped with laser beams out the chariots for them. The scripture speaks about those things. Being the other nations that were trying to attack was being ran down on by chariots. So, hey man, we learned to obey Yahweh Shemel Shah, and it's gonna be dynamic when all this come to light, and you see, and then everybody see like, damn man, they got the power, pure power, man. We gotta go follow them other nations. Those nations that's gonna want to do it, but we're gonna still bust their day. We're gonna bust their ass, man. We're gonna do what we do though. The Lord, cause you know what, these other nations, for this 1,000 years. This 1,000 years that's to come from we put Esau into submission, the Edomites. It's gonna be a serious 1,000 years, man. We're gonna be like, yo, we're gonna hover. I can't remember what the brother said that we're gonna be over you, literally floating in the sky, standing looking at you, and we're gonna make sure you remember everything you've done to us for all those years and decades. You remember everything. Each of you, whatever you did to someone, Yashala, you're gonna remember. All you nations, you're gonna remember. All right, they're gonna remember what they done. We're gonna keep that in their brain so they can always, oh, you know that, yeah, glory. We're gonna have glowing eyeballs. We're gonna have power. We're gonna have muscles. We're gonna look like something that you put these. You want to put steroids in people. You want to do this. You want to try to be the bodybuilders, but you always realize you build up, but you deflate. We never gonna deflate.